Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's ubnradio.com.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Fed Up Show with Lonnie Ramati. I'm here to tell you about a new movement I'm starting. I want everyone to call in and tell me how fed up they are and what they're fed up with. Because I am fed up. I'm fed up! Hey everybody, I'm back again. You can't get rid of me. This week, I'm fed up with people being fired for no reason and having no job opportunities. You should all see a movie called Up in the Air. It's on Netflix, Amazon, everywhere, on cable. You can get it, you can download it, you can see it. It's a film about a guy who works for a company and goes around telling people who've been fired that there's a package they get which will help them find a new job. Of course, the package is total BS. It's just designed to make the termination easier for the owners or executives who are now in power and getting rid of people they no longer want. And most of these people are gotten rid of not because they don't work hard, they're not loyal to the company, which they are, and they haven't spent years of devotional work doing their job to the best of their ability, which they've done. They're gotten rid of because they want to cut costs or there's politics involved and new people want to bring in their own people and their old political issues that have arisen, and they just get let go. The main concept of Up in the Air is that a guy who does this all the time can't connect with people. He's played by George Clooney, and he just wants a simple, unconnected life, traveling around, giving out these BS termination packages without any emotional responsibility. It's very safe for him. And now he's got to travel with a millennial who he has to train, the result of which will be that he'll be taken off the road based on a new computer system designed by the millennium so people don't have to travel anymore and do this BS work of trying to convince people they actually can benefit from this termination package. And as she travels with him, we see that she's not really equipped to be as emotionally detached as he is. She has difficulty firing these people, which I think is a good thing, by the way. I wish more people were considerate of people they're firing. And her boyfriend ends up leaving her during this time, and basically she becomes an emotional wreck because of this. And this is who he hangs out in the beginning. And ultimately, the George Clooney character meets a beautiful woman on the road. They have what appears to be a beautiful relationship. But in the end, she, like everyone else in his life, ends up not being able to connect to him emotionally because she's married with kids, so she rejects him as a piece of fluff just when he's ready to finally commit to her, which puts him back up in the air with airline mileage, which he loves getting, but now he's depressed because the one chance he got is taken away, and he has no emotional connections. By the way, I hate this ending in the film. It makes no sense for a movie to have this kind of ending when throughout the whole film it looks like they're going to end up together, and then all of a sudden she ends up being unavailable. It's too depressing an ending, but that's my view. I'm a huge fan of George Clooney. He's great in this movie, not a surprise. He's become my favorite actor since he did the movie Michael Clayton. He's much more than a pretty face. He's an incredible actor, and he would be an incredible director if he directed more. Whenever he directs, it's great. But here's the point. In that film, we see lots of people being interviewed about being fired and jobless. And the director, the son of Ivan Reitman, who's a great director, used actual people and some actors, a combination. And to me, that's the most amazing part of the film, because when you hear these people talking about being terminated in the film, being fired from their job, what they talk about, other than the obvious money nightmares of not being able to make a living anymore, is the shame of being fired and jobless. The shame of nobody wanting you after more than 10 years of loyal service. The shame of waking up to their children every day, who they've always provided for, and their wife, and not being able to provide for them anymore. The shame of not being able to send their kids to college anymore, no matter how talented those kids are, and no matter how many great colleges they get accepted at. because they can't afford it. And there's no scholarship money because the rules for scholarship money in these rich fat cat colleges are ridiculous. If you're unemployed and you've had a good job for a while, you still don't qualify for scholarship. It's nightmarish. Middle class and poor people are getting screwed again by colleges. So, although I don't agree with Bernie Sanders on a lot of stuff, I do agree with him on this. You've got to if you have kids out there, and Americans have kids out there that you want to have go to college, you've got to get rid of these insane college costs. I mean, if you don't care about your children, for God's sakes, who do you care about? Even politicians have to care about people's children. So when people who've been working at a job for more than 10 years get fired or laid off without cause, and by the way, most of the time that's what happens. It's not, people don't get fired because they screw up. People get fired because some big executive decides, well, I don't like this person, even though this person has done every single thing I've asked them to do, closed everything efficiently, done exactly what I wanted him to do. Politically, I've decided I want to bring in somebody new. It's that arbitrary. We need to protect these people. We need to protect these people. And these are you and me and the world. We need to lower college costs so that if we're unemployed, all of a sudden we can get scholarships if we're unemployed. If we're not working, we should be able to get scholarships. So up yours, colleges, okay? Up yours. You've got enough money through rich donors. Stop charging us so much. Make it cheap. Make it $1,000 a year. If you're unemployed, make it less. Make it cheaper. Because you're destroying the entire educational system by charging money that only rich people can afford. Is America only for rich people? Is that the new American dream? Only rich people get to go to college now. And they act like they're such great institutions. Oh, if you go to the big colleges, a big Ivy League school, go to Stanford, go to all these rich schools where they make so much money off of what they charge people, Amherst, Columbia, all these colleges, Princeton, Harvard, Yale, Brown, just name the schools, Virginia, all of these colleges, even Berkeley and UCLA and USC. Let me ask you a question. It just keeps going up and up. No one does a thing about it. Why can't we just have a law that says if you're unemployed, if your household has at least one of two people that are unemployed, you don't have to pay for this anymore. You qualify for scholarship. You got to pay back the scholarship or a loan, a long-term loan for the kids. Both, combination, but give them something. Also, for those who are unemployed, there should be some law about severance. There's no laws about severance. There's no requirement. Unemployment insurance, you can't live off of that stuff. So, to me, there should be a law about severance that, like, you get, if you've worked there like 10 years or more, you get 2 years of severance of some portion, like say over 50% of your salary or 50% of your salary, so you can live. And the employer has to have an obligation to help you get a job within that 2-year period. That should be a law. Because if that were a law, we'd be a lot happier and the American dream might be real. Because most of us want to work in this country. Nobody wants to live off of welfare. We want to have jobs. And no, that's not government interference. Because you don't argue about government interference when someone bombs us. And when we bomb them back to protect our citizens, which we have the right to do. Well, losing your job when you have a family and kids is like an attack on you by ISIS. It's a living death. Every day, your family sees you unemployed. Everyone in your social network knows you're unemployed. Everyone you care about knows you're unemployed. And by the way, even if you get a lower replacement job, they know that you're not the same employee you were before because your job is much worse. So even if you find a job and are making less money, everyone knows about it. Most people are going to think it's your fault. And almost always it's not your fault. You're no longer fun to be around because you're worrying about surviving and providing for your kids and family and paying for college. Nobody wants to, nor do they have the time to be around someone like you. That's a living death, my friend. Okay? And you're not alone. But no matter how many other people there are, people still see you as a social disease, while these rich executives who threw you to the dogs because they don't give a damn about you, and their self-absorbed egos who fired you without any protection are smiling all the way to the bank. How in hell's name can our government, which under George Bush, not Barack Obama, George Bush, gave billions to investment banking firms and bailed them out, not protect the unemployed? Not protect the unemployed. I'm almost done, but before I take a call, let me just say, don't tell me about unemployment insurance, because no one can live off of unemployment insurance, and it lasts for a very short period of time. And don't quote me about unemployment levels. They're BS. If you were an engineer for 15 years, now you have to work at McDonald's to make a living. That's not employment. That's a huge reduction in stature, money, and work capability. It's a living death. And people die because of this, slowly. They become angry and bitter and feel neglected, and they feel like the American dream is dead. No college for the kids, no house anymore because we can't pay the mortgage, no relief from the agony of waking up and each year that goes by, whether you don't have a job or whether you have a job working as a janitor when you used to be an engineer, a little bit more of you dies inside like a rotting tree, and nobody cares. So it's a living death, and I want protection from it for everybody. And billionaires are not going to help you. They don't care. They're rich. They don't even understand you. Rich people are not going to help you. They just don't care. They don't have a clue. So you have to start voting. You have to vote. And you have to work to get people elected who aren't rich, care about you being employed, who protect you from this living death. So while you're unemployed or working at McDonald's, get involved in politics, volunteer, learn the system, start getting people like you to vote for middle class and lower middle class or poor people. Tell them to ignore the ads, stop listening to the BS rich people tell you, and vote for teachers or janitors or workers that work at McDonald's or unemployed people so we can get these rich fat cats out of Congress and we have a shot at getting a damn job, for Christ's sakes. At least we'll be doing something. And let everyone, and I mean everyone, know about how you were let go, how you were treated, how you can't find work, how you wake up every day and see your kids having no future because you have no job to take care of them or pay for their college. Blog about it. Don't keep it secret. Let everyone you know who screwed you over, let everyone know what happened so that no one believes the lies these rich executives tell about what great people they are. Let people know the truth, because the truth is all you have. You don't have a job anymore, but people need to know about what these rich executives are really doing. They're doing it to loyal, hardworking people. They're throwing them to the dogs on a whim. Don't be silent about it. I think I have a call. I'm happy to take.
You're live on air with Lonnie Ramati.
David Jacobian.
I'm here.
Hi, Lonnie.
Hi, David.
You are very right about everything you said. I think the problem is the country is so big that people feel helpless. And because of that, feeling hopeless. In a smaller country, people feel more power. They go on the street, they riot, demonstration. But here, you can't do that because they don't believe there's any results.
Well, here's what you can do. You cannot give up. You can use the internet to get a group of friends that are on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever else medium you use to meet people, and you can start getting those people to vote and get those people to take action and get the word out about who it is that's hurting you and make it public, because the truth is not slander or libel. And people get embarrassed by what they do if it's made public. They're very confident in what they do if it's behind the scenes. So I believe in community. I believe even though it's a small community, a noisy small community protesting in front of the White House causes a lot of aggravation to the White House. When people are visible, even though they're small, it creates embarrassment and it gets reported by the news. So I believe in the community working together and gathering friendships and relationships. And by the way, if you come from a country, let's say you're Armenian, get involved in the Armenian community. Let that community help you become public about these things. Or if you're, a Christian and you go to church, let the church know about these things. If you're not a Christian, if you're not Armenian, whatever you are, find a group of people that are like you and fight for your rights and make it public. Blog, internet, network, LinkedIn, find these people and try and get people to do things. One of the things that everyone can do in these circumstances is vote. If you start voting differently and you get enough of a group to vote differently, you can make a difference, even though you're a small group of people, especially locally. So that's my biggest advice there.
The problem when you have only two people as a choice, when you have to vote, it's a problem. Don't have a third party that you can choose for.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this thought, and then I have to move on. That's not true in this sense. What is true is you can make sure that of the two people you vote with, you make it public why you're voting for the other person. I'm voting for the other person because this person gives this community the best chance of getting a job, or this person gives our community the best chance of getting more unemployment insurance, or this community gives us the best chance of getting something done. I agree, it's the lesser of two evils right now, but locally you have lots of choices in who you vote for. That's just the presidency. Locally, you can do lots of damage to local candidates for Congress in your community and local candidates for mayoral jobs, or you can make that work. I have to move on, sir, but again, I can't stress this enough. You've got to be social and network and get some numbers behind you, just like you do in anything in life. Otherwise, nobody listens in any country to anything. Thank you very much.
I agree with you.
Thank you
we
so
need more
much.
people like you who will evoke the emotions and let people be aware of it.
My friend, I'm going to do this every day until I die, okay? I'll be fighting for this. Thank you so much for the call.
419, you're on the phone with Lonnie Ramati. Go ahead.
Hi, Lonnie. Casey here. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Boy, I tell you that the subject today is pretty close to home for me. My husband was laid off at 27 years in on his job, and I was had taken time off to write with 6 parents, and it affected our life in every way. So, yeah, pretty close to home with this one, and so many families fearing the same thing. I mean, one sickness can ruin, a middle-class family or a layoff or something like that. With the healthcare system we have in place, the outrageous amounts of money for one sickness or one hospitalization, can ruin every family that loses a home or moves or has a reduction in their income, after building a life. It's a tragedy.
It's absolutely tragic. Let me ask you a question. I know you know the answer to this, but I'm going to tell you this. What kind of a country do we have where they don't care about letting us work and have a job when we want to have a job so we can support our family, and they don't care about medical care for us? You go to Canada, okay, which is right next to us, Canada. Why is it that in Canada you pay a small fee a month and your medical is covered for, and the medical doesn't bankrupt you? Why in the United States are pharmaceuticals going up outrageously? Why is medical costs going up in the United States, whereas in the UK and Canada, they don't pay these sorts of costs? Why are we left with insurance, which is a for-profit business that doesn't help anybody? What we do in this country, and this is what I'm talking about, is we elect...
It's corporate greed.
Corporate greed. We elect people that care about profit. They don't care about people. They care about money. And until we stop putting people in power, that are supposed to represent us, that care about money, until we stop doing that, we're screwed. So the next time you see a billionaire like Donald Trump, or anybody that's rich, forget Donald Trump, anyone in your community that's rich, Mitt Romney, I'm not picking on Republicans. Democrats are rich too. Whoever's rich, forget what party they're in. If they are rich, my friend, they are bad for you. I don't care if they're from the nicest party in the world. Rich people will never help us. They never have, they never will, and they're going to be the people, by the way, that lay us off after 27 years. They're going to be the people that don't let us have medical care. They're going to be the people that support the for-profit people like insurance companies and hospitals and pharmaceuticals. You know why? Because those are the rich corporate people that contribute to their campaigns. So the only chance we have is numbers. We have numbers. So we have to fight for the numbers. And the other thing I would suggest your husband can do and you can do is make it public. Let people know what happened. Let people know about the company that laid him off, how they treated him after 27 years, and develop a community of people that complain about this. Because if you open your mouth and complain, it's the only way, unfortunately, you get results here. Because no one's going to come and rescue us. We have to fight to be rescued. Just like if somebody, it breaks and enters your home, you have to call the police and fight for them to come down and say and tell them what happened. We have to fight for people to protect us. And that's what this show is about. It's bringing awareness to these things and trying to encourage people to vote. You got to get off your tush and vote. And if you have time and you're not doing anything at home, go out and get involved in the political process so at least we can try and get some candidates there that are going to make some changes for us. I appreciate.
Well, the problem is we're not asking the right questions. These right to work states. This is the type of thing and thinking that's ruining the American economy. These big corporations come in and push the little guy out, and then you've got an antitrust problem, and every single one of them signs a non-disclosure agreement. Then you have people that can't talk about how they've totally been screwed out of the American dream.
Well, did you sign a non-disclosure agreement? You didn't sign that. You can talk about whatever you want. Your children can talk about whatever you want. Your friends can talk about things. They didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement. If your husband signed a non-disclosure, let other people talk about it. Let people, let people know. I happen to know about contracts. I'm a bit of an expert in that area. Hey, you know what? Your biggest dream come true, my friend, is for them to try and sue on a non-disclosure. Because you know what happens when they sue on a non-disclosure? It becomes even more public. Even more people find out. God bless you if they sue, because you'll end up winning probably, because they're really hard to enforce, non-disclosure agreements. They're mostly a scare tactic. And more importantly, hey, whoever didn't sign that thing can say whatever they want. You didn't sign it. Your kids didn't sign it. Gossip. We got to gossip publicly about the crap we're getting from fat cat executives who on a whim decide to fire somebody who's an outstanding employee just because they can get away with it or lay them off, quote unquote. That's the secret way, by the way, that people get rid of people. They lay them off and then pretend they're not replacing them. And then they secretly replace them with somebody who has a different title. Again, the whole thing is a giant scam.
It gets paid a third of what they were making.
Yep.
I mean, even Ford Motor Company has done the same thing. They've turned over all the people with the pensions, and now they've got people in there for $12 an hour that are on food stamps. And it shouldn't be that way. I mean, a living wage is a problem also,
Yep.
Lonnie. We consume everything and produce nothing.
Yep.
If we produce nothing, we're just retail robots making low wages, working weekends and holidays. The CEOs aren't working the weekends and holidays.
Well,
they're
on their yachts and they're not doing anything. That's my whole fight. My whole fight is give us a wage we can live off. Don't say unemployment and all this other crap that gives us nothing, unemployment insurance. We need to be able to make a living and we need to be productive. But a billionaire is not going to help you. I'm just being serious about this. I mean,
you're absolutely correct.
They're not going to help you. Donald Trump is not going to help me. He doesn't even care. No. He's not going to help anybody. Whoever votes for Donald Trump, no offense. I'm not saying they should vote for Hillary Clinton. Don't get me wrong. She's got major issues too. I hate them both. But please don't vote for Donald Trump because you think he's going to help you and change up things in Washington. He's not going to change. He's a billionaire. He doesn't care. If he changes nothing, he's still a billionaire. What motivates him to do a thing? He's just going to try and market his golf courses and all of his businesses, the businesses of his children, which he's been doing throughout the campaign. He's about money. He's never been about people in his entire life. There's nothing in that guy's life that has helped people. Nothing. Everything is about him and his money, which is fine. People can do that. But just don't try and convince me that he's going to create manufacturing jobs, that he's really going to get rid of all the overseas business. By the way, He's involved himself in overseas business. He does business in China. He has manufactured goods in China. So please, please don't give me the argument that this guy, that rich people are going to help us. That's what I hate. What I can't stand is if you and I are working for wages, we're working for 27 years, we get laid off, and then we vote for Donald Trump. That aggravates me because we're voting for a rich person. If you say the lesser of two evils, well, I know a billionaire ain't going to help me. That's for sure. I know that. I'm out
Well,
there.
the two-party system itself is an antiquated joke. I mean,
Horrible.
both parties are comprised of
Horrible.
corporate-sponsored cartoon characters.
Horrible.
None of them care about us.
Horrible.
We
And
need,
you know what's
we
happening?
need to do something different, Lonnie.
we need
People
to
like
vote.
you, I would vote for you.
Well, we're trying to do a movement. It's not about me necessarily, but I just want to have a movement of people. I'm sure that like 80 or 90% of the country would love to just dump these two parties and vote for someone that's going to actually get us damn jobs, help us get an education for our kids and live a normal life like we used to 30 years ago when the American dream was still alive. That's what I'm fighting for.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
So all I can do right now, and I'm going to do it until the day I die, is open my big mouth and fight for everybody and try and make it public. And you know what happens? The more things you make public, the more stuff happens. And that's what we have to do. We just got to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and not give up until they have to listen to us.
Well, you are a brave soul, and I am behind you 1,000%. And then if any way I can support you, I will be right behind you doing it.
And by the way, back at you. I'm not going to give up as long as there's somebody out there with a husband that's worked hard for 27 years and got screwed by the system. I'm never going to give up. I'm always going to fight. I'm always going to try and bring people together in the community on all the social networks so we can help each other and stop this crap. It's time for us to stop this crap. Thank you so much for the call. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wish you the best, Lonnie.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye. All right, and now I'm going to continue because I love talking about these things, and I feel very strongly about it. Okay, so let's talk about the stupidity of Hillary Clinton since I just talked about Donald Trump. You know, here's what bothers me about Hillary. And I hate both of them. I hate Donald Trump and Hillary. I hate them both as political candidates. Not that I'm not a fan of Mitt Romney. I'm not a fan. There are some things about Barack Obama I don't like. There's some things I like. It's a mix. But I'm neither a Democrat nor a Republican. I'm an independent. I'm that independent guy that goes either way. You can vote for anyone. But the stupidity of Hillary is just killing me. It's just like, let's assume that she's not as dishonest or untrustworthy as you think he is. Even if you give her the benefit of the doubt, which is not easy to do, I understand. But best case scenario, she's politically stupid. I'm trying to understand this. Maybe you can help me. All of Hillary's emails are public because she put them on her private email. Her staff destroyed cell phones with hammers. That's public because she put her stuff on private email. This, my friends, is the dumbest Secretary of State, political appointee in the history of time. And by the way, Barack Obama appointed her. So if you're going to call her stupid, you have to call Barack Obama stupid. And by the way, Barack Obama, he's a smart guy. But the smart people can be idiot savants. They can make stupid mistakes. Hillary, please. Donald Trump hasn't revealed a damn thing to us. He hasn't revealed his tax returns, and he won't, and he's going to get away with it. He doesn't have to reveal anything to us. He's walking around with all these corporate secrets that he's done in his business that harm him. Nobody knows. And by the way, that's why he's a billionaire, because he has these secrets and he keeps them secret, and nobody finds out about them. Meanwhile, instead of protecting your confidentiality, Hillary, everyone knows what's in your emails now and your cell phone. People know that your assistants broke your cell phones, and they know what's in your emails. People know more about you than anyone in the history of mankind because they have all your emails. So it just gets worse and worse for you. And here's the thing. Then she opens her mouth as a politician. I'm being very precise in this, as a politician, because she's a bright lady, very bright lady. So is Barack Obama, but he appointed her. So people, they have idiot savant qualities. This is the idiot part. It's the worst campaign in the history of presidential elections in the history, okay? You've never seen such a bad campaign. If somebody were to vet Hillary Clinton before she started her campaign, they would never let her run for office. But wait, if they vetted her, they would find out the idiots that are advising her. We know it's not Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton never had these problems. He didn't have public emails. He had lots of affairs that we found out about, but he didn't have public emails. So she's an idiot somehow. And this week she tells everyone that Trump supporters are racist and stupid. That's the idiot somehow part. This is the idiot part. When she works for someone and is not a politician, she's brilliant and very smart. Behind the scenes, people love her. She's a hard worker, great lawyer, brilliant analytical mind, good team player, great researcher, cares about people. Hell, I'd work for Hillary Clinton, okay? Her current problem, she's trying to be a politician, and she's the clumsiest, most idiotic politician ever. Have you ever seen the movie The Pink Panther with Peter Sellers, Inspector Clouseau? She's like Inspector Clouseau, okay? And we're all like the boss of Inspector Clouseau, and all the bosses of Clouseau and the Pink Panther, they eventually go crazy because he's such a bumbling idiot, he drives them crazy. So, I mean, because it's the only explanation to explain her catching up in the polls this week. I mean, you have to be an idiot to allow Trump to catch you. So there's proof that she's an idiot, Savon. She should have chosen Bernie Sanders as a vice presidential candidate. Tim Kaine's smart, but he's not Bernie. And Bernie's movement wouldn't have deserted her because he's the VP. And tactically, she doesn't do that. And that just aggravates me about what an idiot she is. So I've called Donald Trump out for being a billionaire who doesn't care, which I know he doesn't. And then I'm calling Hillary Clinton out, even assuming she's trustworthy, for being an idiot, which is what she is politically. I want to talk about Chicago. And here's one of my complaints about Democrats. I told you I'm an independent. I don't like Republicans because it's really Republicans who are elitists. They have all the money. They hang around rich people. They try and control the economy through rich people. They're the ones who are elitist, not liberals. Liberals aren't an elitist. I don't see a lot of rich liberals out there. I see a lot of rich Republicans. So they're elitist. But my problem with Democrats is they're weak. They're weak. How did the Republicans take over radio? Why did the Republicans are a minority in this country. There are less Republicans out there than there are Democrats. How did that happen? Because Democrats are weak. They're little putzes. And here's proof of it. And I feel terrible about this. The statistic came out recently that there are 500 homicides over a one-year period in Chicago. Chicago's a Democratic town. Most of the politicians are Democratic. They do have prosecutors. They do have police. How do we have 500 murders in Chicago? Why does violence follow Democrats? If you remember in 1968, the Democratic Convention, it was a violent convention. Why? Why does violence follow the Democrats? They're supposedly, allegedly, an all-inclusive party that includes minorities. They include women, they include blacks, they include Hispanics, they include Asians, they include all religions. Why are people violent when they're around? It should be the opposite. Everyone should be happy. And here's why, I believe. I think they're weak. They don't make strong decisions. They don't help empower the police. Not because they don't respect the police. I don't believe that. They just don't do the right moves to help the police feel confident in their authority. They don't help prosecutors. They're so busy trying to protect us from things, they forget that we have to be protected from things. And what I mean by that is, if you're worried about unemployment, which allegedly they are, although the employment levels aren't really that good right now for people that are trying to have the same salary at the same job, that you can get a job but at a much lower salary, just worry about our survival. When you have 500 murders in a city, you're focusing on the wrong things. Whatever you're worried about Democrats in that city, it's a mistake, okay? I know the police haven't given up. I know the prosecutors haven't given up. But those are your results in Chicago. So when people when Republicans talk about law and order, they have a really good argument. They just need to point to Chicago. If they point to Chicago, guess what? You don't look so good. All right, I have a guest. And my guest is an actress, and she is Stefania Orlovska, and she's here to tell me why she's fed up, and we're here to discuss about her career and what's going on with it. Stefania, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You can put on the headphones so you can hear me. And first of all, Stefania, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely, love to. So I'm an actor from Australia, and my background is Polish, hence the crazy name, Stefania Orłowska. Came out here half a decade ago to pursue my career as an actor, and shall I tell you what I'm fed up with?
Yeah, I want to hear what you're fed up with. That's the name of the show, and I want to hear.
Well, mainly I'm fed up with, struggling and hustling day in, day out to pursue my career, to further my career, to make it happen, make my dreams come true. It's really tough out here, and I'm just fed up with struggling and being broke sucks.
Well, being broke sucks, but tell me, how do agents treat you? How do they treat you? Are they nice to you?
To my face, they're nice to me.
And then what happens?
They don't really care about me. They're not the agents that I've come across so far. They're not passionate enough to do what needs to be done, to pitch me, to push me to further my career, to get me where I need to be going. I need to find someone that's passionate for me, that's driven.
And isn't it a catch-22? Because here you are, running around to all these agents trying to get them to be interested in you.
Right.
They're not interested in you. And then what happens is you don't have an agent that you should have.
Exactly.
Because they're just ignoring you. What's the point of an agent? What is the point of an agent if you're not out there, agents, helping new talent get jobs? You slimy little pieces of crap. That's me talking, not Stefania. Don't you get it? Don't you understand that when somebody comes in your office and they're that ambitious and they're making all the moves they can make to try and get their career going, that when you send this person out, they're going to try their best every single time to get work, that they're going to be diligent? Don't you get it? Can't you wake up to that? Can't one agent take a chance on Stefania, who's working night and day to get her career going? She's been here for like 10 years and it's been slapped in the face constantly. I'm an advocate for those who at least give good faith efforts and aren't getting any help. So I'm here to give the agents a call out. The next time Stefania contacts you, why don't you meet with her? Why don't you take a break for being so limited in your thinking and think outside the box? And maybe you might start making some real money because you'll take chances on people that are devoted to trying to have a career. Because no one's more hardworking than this girl. She's been here doing this. She should have given up a long time ago, and she didn't. What does that tell you? She's not going to give up. So go work with her. Stop being lazy, fat people that only care about easy money. Do your job. Go out and get people work. And I'm saying that to every employer in this land of ours. Do your job. Hire people. Create jobs. Bill Gates, you're running around doing all these wonderful charitable things. How about Bill creating jobs? All right? How about funding an agency that hires people? How about helping Stefania out get a job as an actress? How about helping people get work? Because that's what matters. Work. Not some charitable foundation in Africa. We need jobs here, Bill. We need jobs here, Donald. We need jobs here, rich people. How about instead of giving to charities, you give people jobs? I'm saying it over and over again. Stefania, let me ask you this. If people want to find out about you and your acting skills, how can they do that? I know that you have some videos and some clips of yourself.
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on YouTube with my name, Stefania Orłowska. Shall I spell it?
Yeah.
My first name is Stefanja, last name Orlowska, and you can always follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm always posting about my hard work and my travels. So it's at I am Stefania, IAMSTEFANJA. Again, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. Follow along. I'm always hustling.
She's the best. She works hard. She's on this show because I know how hard she's been trying. I've tried to refer to people. As usual, people are ignoring her. It's time for you to take a look. Again, Stefania, I thank you for being on this show. I have to take a few calls now. I want you to know that I'm going to keep bringing people back to this show that are struggling out there to help them in their careers because nobody else gives a damn. And I'm going to be the one person, at least, that gives them some public approval and public backing so that they can get off the ground and have their dreams come true. Again, I want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. So appreciate you.
All right. On to my next rant. Do we have any calls? We don't. So I can go on to my next rant. All right. Let me tell you why. I'm back to unemployment again because it's a big issue for me. Let me tell you why it doesn't feel like there's 5% unemployment, okay? Less people are working. So what's happened is, and this is what nobody calculates. Obama doesn't calculate it. George Bush doesn't calculate it. Donald Trump doesn't calculate it. Hillary Clinton doesn't calculate it. All these rich politicians don't calculate it because they're rich and they don't care. It doesn't feel like there's 5% unemployment because less people are working. Because here's what happens. After 1 year of not being able to find a job, people give up. They just give up. They either retire or they find a way to survive on poverty-level income, and they just give up. So what you're doing, idiot politicians, what you're doing, idiot rich people, what you're doing to people here is you're making them drop out of the workforce, and that's not good for the economy, you stupid idiots. And by the way, stupid idiots, you really believe that a great Wall Street market is good for the economy? Let me ask you this. The market is at one of the highest levels it's ever been in. The Dow is at the highest level. Standard & Poor's at the highest levels, okay? And people feel like they've been left behind. The gap between the rich and the poor and the rich and the middle class is the largest it's ever been. Congratulations, geniuses. Helping the stock market get to the highest level brings nothing to closing the gap between middle class, poor, and rich people. If anything, it's widened it to its highest levels. And we don't have jobs now. So you're obviously lying to us when you tell us that the stock market helps jobs. It doesn't help jobs. It hasn't been helping jobs. It hasn't helped the middle class. It helps rich people. The stock market helps rich people. Most people don't even know the machinations of the stock market. Only rich, sophisticated people know that. So please stop worrying about the damn stock market. How about increasing interest rates in savings accounts so those of us who save, once we're unemployed, have interest we can make on our bank savings account? Bank takes our money. Now they pay us 0.5% interest. All we want is 5% interest. We can't get any interest because all that money now is going to Wall Street, to little scams, little insurance-backed securities that have no value that people make money off selling to rich people. And when things collapse for the rich people, the government bails them out. So that's why it doesn't feel like 5%. Less adults are working, and we have nobody to help us. 2.1 million Americans haven't been able to get a job for over half a year. That's double the amount in normal times. 2.1 million. That's over half a year. I want people to live like people that are unemployed. I want the rich people that have no worries. I want all the executives that get rid of these employees to have to spend 6 to 12 months with nobody caring about them and being unemployed. Just do that. Just get them to experience it so their brains are turned around from their elitist attitude so they start caring about things again, caring about people again. We've stagnated like Homer Simpson. If you look at, I love The Simpsons. I love the cartoon The Simpsons. If you look at him, he had a high-paying job. He's had 30 years later, he's right where he was when he started. He can't afford to pay a mortgage. He can't send his school, get kids to school. He has all these low-paying jobs. That's what's happening in the real world. He had one good-paying job. The company went out of business, and since then, he's been doing all this crap. I'm going to take a call. Thank you very much.
All right, you're live with Lonnie Ramati. Go ahead.
Hey, Lonnie, I love your show.
Thank you.
I told my friends about it, and they all started venting on me on what they're fed up about. I'm like, whoa, call him yourself.
Exactly.
Here's what I'm fed up with. I'm fed up with public restrooms where women walk in paranoid they're going to catch something off the toilet, and they urinate all over the toilet. And then the next woman who comes in who maybe wants to put down like toilet paper or whatever, the toilet paper gets all wet. You end up cleaning up somebody else's urine, or God forbid, you're not paying attention and you sit right in it. So, ladies, if you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie and wipe the seedy, please.
Very good. You must be
Because
creative.
That's disgusting.
Well, urine, I'm glad we brought up urine in this show. In fact, I believe urine should be brought up in every show I do. I think urine's a very important subject. It's something we all do. Even rich people urinate. Even the rich. Even Donald Trump. Even Hillary Clinton, even Bill Clinton urinate. They all learn. So, Hillary, please.
That's right.
Please,
Just don't do it all over the toilet.
don't, Hillary, wipe it when you go to the bathroom, please.
That's right. Everybody, yeah.
Please do that because, it's aggravating me. You know what I'm fed up with? I'm fed up with people who have dreams about making movies, who go out and make their own movies, sacrificing everything, and nobody gives them a shot. I'm fed up with people being ignored. We got to get together. We got to start pounding these jerks that ignore us, that sit in their office dreaming of being on their yachts, and get them to start working again. We got to go to their clients. We got to hit their clients. Go to actors, go to directors, go to producers. We got to unite as like a blog, a united giant blog. It's like not a blob, but a blog, but kind of looks like a blog. Like the big, but we're all little poking heads of unemployed people who are fighting to get work and fighting to get noticed and fighting to get people to care about us. Because I know you're a creative person. I know that you do movies and all you do is keep getting calls from people that are trying to scam you and steal your product and give you nothing. We need people to get active, to start caring about each other as a community. Because what the hell is this
We need like a creative force.
That's right.
There's a lot of creativity out
That's
there.
Right.
And if we just all get together, we could be something really amazing.
And by the way, in memory of 9/11, we all bonded so well on 9/11. We were all unified on 9/11, okay? And that was a wonderful thing. Why can't we get bonded and united in getting work for each other? We're Americans. Why can't the richest country in the world get jobs for us and get us visible with the talent that we have so we don't have to hide in the shadows anymore? Why do you have to hide in Austin, Texas, instead of being in L.A. closing deals because people don't care enough? I want to fight for that. I want to fight for you, and I want to fight for every actress that can't get work. I want to fight for every person that can't get work and every person that's laid off after 27
years. If you hit or you're successful, they're banging the door down because now they want a piece.
Yeah.
They want a piece of you and all your hard work, and it's a shame because you're like, no.
Right.
Where were you when I was, clawing my way up and trying to get this stuff together? I agree. I agree.
That's what we're fighting for. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it so much. It's been nice.
All right. Take it easy.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. I have a final minute. Okay, here's one about women and how they're treated like crap. I'm very big on women. I like women. So let me ask you a question. There's a statistic that came out that women don't get pay raises and promotions even if they ask. So all you male executives, the male executives that fired me and everyone else on this planet, the male executives that let all of us suffer in unemployment and the shame out of unemployment. Let's just talk about women. Even though they're not fired, they work for you. Do you have a mother? Do you have a mother? Do you care about your mother? Do you have a sister? Do you care about your sister? Do you have a grandmother? These are women. Just so you remember, they're women that you love and care about. These are the people that aren't getting raises, okay? They're women. Wake up, goofballs. Help your mother, your sister, and grandmother get raises and promotion. You love them, right? Wake the hell up. Elect people who will legislate against this crap. And in your practices, promote women. because every time you don't promote a woman, you don't give her a raise, you treat her like a second-rate citizen. You're treating your mother, your sister, and your grandmother as second-rate citizens because they're women as well. I think that's all we have time for today. I want to thank everyone for another great show. Thank everyone for the calls, and I'll be back next week.